Better another spot.
Facebook won't let me put it in landscape, so it's in She said, oh yeah, what? By the way,
Hey guys, this is City of Whitney down in Hill County. Little town out by Lake Whitney. There's Lake Whitney State Park over here too. So we are at the library. They've been using the library for their city council meetings the last few times. There's just more room here.
Is there anybody here that would like to lead us in prayer? Happy to. Okay, thank you.
Heavenly Father, you have in the Lord, and just ask for wisdom and discernment for the city council and all the decisions that they're deliberating for the citizens of the city of Whitney. Lord, help them to keep you at the center of their decisions and in their hearts. Lord, thank you for the sacrifice of your Son for our sins. Lord, we love you. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Liz Price, would you like to lead us in the pledge? Go.
Facebook will not let me stream in landscape mode for some reason.
Smile out of five. You're good. We have a proclamation read by Mayor Janice Sanders declaring October 18th Denise Carter Public Library Day in the City of Whitney. Denise, come on up. City of Whitney proclamation. Whereas the City of Whitney wishes to honor outstanding individuals whose dedication and contribution have had a profound impact on our community. And whereas Denise Carter has faithfully served the community of Whitney as the librarian for the Lake Whitney Public Library for 18 years. demonstrating the tireless commitment to fostering literacy, knowledge, and community engagement. And whereas under Denise's leadership, the Lake Whitney Public Library has grown from a modest office space into a thriving standalone facility built through a successful grant applications, fundraising efforts, which now serves as a cornerstone of learning and community gathering. And whereas Denise Carter's unwavering dedication, passion for education, and advocacy for the library have enriched the lives of countless residents, promoting lifelong learning and strengthening the bonds of our community. And whereas the City of Whitney recognizes that the profound and lasting impact Denise Carter has made on the citizens of Whitney, both through her professional work and personal devotion to the library's mission. Now therefore, I, Janice Sanders, Mayor of the City of Whitney, on behalf of the City Council and citizens of Whitney, do here proclaim October 18th, 2024 as Denise Carter Public Library Day in the City of Whitney in recognition for her exceptional service, leadership, and contribution in our community through the Lake Whitney Public Library.
I'll read the line item for you. Line item 6, dedication of the Children's Library in honor of Denise Carter. So the plaque will be mounted in the library, in the Children's Library, and the Children's Library will now be known as the Denise Carter's Children's Library.
Public comments and receipt of petition at this time at 6:04 p.m. will be allowed to speak on any matter other than personnel matters. Any matter not specifically listed for the public hearing, otherwise on the agenda, or matters under litigation for length of time not to exceed 4 minutes. No council, board discussion, or action may take place on a matter until further matter has been placed on the agenda and posted in accordance with Law Texas Government Code 551.042. We have 2 that have signed up to speak. Harold Wilson, you would take a stand at the podium, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and to the City Council, and those that are here. My concern is I got my taxes for next year, or this year, to be paid by December the 31st or January 31st. That went up 19%. And that is, to me, if it goes up all over the town 19%, it's ridiculous. And I've been in Whitney 56 years, and I've been a taxpayer for 50 of those years after I owned my property. And I've lived in that same house since 1972. And in the previous 5 years, it only went up like $90 or so. 1 year, it goes up the same thing almost to $90 or more. I didn't do the math on it. It upset me when I got this the other day. And I do plan to pay it, but I think that's a little bit out of reason. And I do wish that y'all would think about that and talk about it, and because I thought if it went up over 5% call for a re-vote on it or something, but that 19% is, to me, far out of the question, and they talk about inflation, and I'll only get 2% from my social security. And back in March, I fell and wound up in the hospital for 10 days with back surgery. I fell at home in my bedroom, and this hasn't been a good year, and then to get this, it just really kind of took the cake. Now, hopefully y'all will reconsider if you can, or however, but that's my concern. And I love the city of Whitney. I've probably been here longer than everybody in this room. And my parents, my dad was raised down on the Brazos River. My uncle used to be the water department man for Whitney, Roy Wilson. And I have some ties to Whitney. But this really hurt me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bond?
Good evening, everybody. Madam Mayor, my name, for y'all that don't know, I'm Stephanie Shelby. I live here in Whitney. I assist the animal control with a lot of the animal problems that we have. I'm here to address the council again for a need of a shelter and an impound. I know that we started the animal control program, I believe, back in April, and we've been steadily trying to raise funds to get an impound or a shelter. As of right now, we have nowhere. I temporarily was using the old Salvation Army building, but we vacated it at the end of August for the city to use for other purposes, as well as it was a noise and problem for the police department. But as of right now, I believe, if my figures are correct, we have almost $5,000 that have been donated to help us build an impound or a shelter. I have been getting bids. I have gotten 4 bids so far to help Drew to start with an impound. Obviously, I would like to see an impound and a shelter be together. I know that private 501c3s can get more grants and funding than city things. And I don't know. I know that's on the agenda, so I won't touch on that. I would like a place where both of them can be utilized together, where the impound and the shelter can be together. Impound can be operated by the city, and if so be it, the shelter be operated by volunteers or private citizens. We have turned in the bid, and as far as I know, the construction will start the beginning of on November the 18th, and I believe that it's being put, the impound portion is being put behind the Public Works Department, and Drew has the drawings all drawn out for that for just phase 1. But this is completely temporary as an impound because we have nowhere. I had 4 cats dropped off in 2 days on my doorstep today. I get animals dropped off daily. We have nowhere to put them. I have nowhere to, we rehomed, we're 20, 25 in the last month. Me personally, probably 15 of those. We have nowhere to put them. I can't keep them at my house. I have maxed out my volunteers. They're keeping animals all over the place for me. Public Works Director is keeping animals for me. I've got them everywhere. So I'm just appealing to the council to please consider trying to help me, Drew, the city. I just need a building to make it to a shelter. An existing building, a piece of property that we can purchase if I can get enough donations. I have construction people. I have lots of contacts. I just need somewhere to help these animals. That's all. Thanks.
Okay, we're gonna close public comments at 6:12. Consent agenda, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted in one motion. Should a council member desire discussion of any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Line item 8, consider and act on approving the minutes from the regular City Council meeting on September 19, 2024. Line item 9, consider and act on approving the City of Whitney expense reports and check register for September 2024.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second. Jason?
Yes.
Cheryl? Yes. Vicky? Yes. Sam?
Yes.
All yes, motion passes.
Department reports, fire department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have a copy of the report in your file. Month of run 7 fires in the county, 23 medical calls in the county, 4 fires in the city, and 6 medical calls in the city. Pretty busy that month. Couple other things. We received a donation and equipment from Brazos Valley Fire Training Academy. I first thought it was about $35,000 in equipment. It's closer to $60,000 in equipment. We received 6 SCBAs, high-pressure SCBAs, to standardize all our air packs between both trucks now. So we got that donation from them, and very grateful for that. That's helped a whole lot, save the city a lot of money. The PR this month has been going good. We have the school system tomorrow, we do public relations with the little kids all day tomorrow. And we've done 2 others, one at the Church of Christ and one at Texas New Mexico Power Company this morning. So we've been real busy with that. So, any questions?
Thank you for the donation. It's outstanding.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Police report, Chief Evelyn.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council, Madam Mayor. We had a pretty busy September also. We had 4 total arrests, 45 traffic stops, 69 warning and regular citations. Responded to a burglary in progress. Just missed the burglar at the time, but we had him captured within 24 hours and most of our property back. Just a couple of things missing. That was a great team effort with several people in the PD, and we responded to some disturbance calls that resulted in 2 family violence arrests. We assisted the fire department with a structure fire. We located a missing juvenile, which turned out to be a sex assault victim in Waco, and we turned that investigation over to them. So pretty busy month of September. Thank you.
Thank you. Any next report?
Good evening, everyone. Madam Mayor. Whitney EMS ran 41 calls, 73 were transported, 20 were non-transports, and 7 were other dispositions. Our average response time was 5 minutes and 49 seconds. We ran 4 out into the county this month, so that was a little slower than last month. So our response time is actually probably pretty accurate. Our projects that we have coming up, also Brazos Valley Training, thank you very much, sir, is going to be hosting CPR here November 2nd at 10 o'clock in the morning. So that will be our next CPR class. We're also going to be with them tomorrow at the school doing some public education, letting the kids see the ambulance. We like to, God forbid they ever have to have an ambulance. That way they're not as scared and they're, a little bit more aware of what to expect. So we'll be there with them for a little bit tomorrow. We're going to be out at the trunk or treat on the 31st, and Medic 3 will be escorting the band this Saturday for their homecoming thing that they're doing. The Keiths are both going to be driving Medic 3 in that procession as well. So that's what we have going on in the EMS world. Thank you.
Public Works report.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had 6 water leaks in with having to remove a fire hydrant, replace it with a flush valve. We're hoping to repair it. We found out unfortunately it was connected to a 4-inch line. Due to TCQ rules, we can't have hydrants hooked up to that anything smaller than 6 inch, so that was swapped out. But we're looking to get a quote on getting that repaired. I have one backhoe down with 2 hydraulic lines we're looking at getting replaced right now. I did get 1 new employee, so that puts me at 1 short still. And that was all I had.
Thank you. Library report, no crying allowed.
The joy has touched my heart, so thank you so much, council, and thank you so much, everyone from Whitney, for making this a wonderful job. First off, I gave you the stats, and I want to reassure everyone here that the library is in good hands. The first time in my career that I feel confident to leave it behind. And I want them to stand up. I want John to stand up first. He's been with me the longest. He does everything technical. We now have a new group of books, e-books from the state. We have 55,000 from one group and 70,000 from another group of electronic books. And he personally helps everybody get connected. So he's an asset that we couldn't make without. I've got Emmanuel. Oh, he's not here. Emmanuel's starting our chess club, and we already have a large group of people that have signed up for that. And I think it'll be a really fun thing that people can do. Christy with a C, because we have Christy with a K and Christy with a C, she's going to be one of my biggest assets because she can do anything. We never want to pass up any opportunity to go out in the community, so they did an expo in Hillsborough and invited all the different businesses and stuff. We did a booth, and Christy got it all together in the lick of time and got there and had a really good response. So I'm so pleased that they'll get out and do stuff in the community, and I think we'll be happy. I've got Shan back at the back. She is an editor of authors and is an asset to us because she keeps our books in good shape, and we have a lot going on with our book club. And to have all these people and volunteers, we are really lucky. And like I told you before, my goal is, the only limitation is your imagination. Well, let me tell you, this group can imagine. So you will see anything can happen now. So thank y'all so much, and I appreciate all these honors, and I'll be following you on your Facebook and webpage. Thank you.
For the municipal court, we've got 20 traffic citations, and for a combined amount of $4,744 collected for the month of September.
Code compliance report.
Good evening, everybody. As you see my report here, in animal control cases, we had 6 citations issued. As we know, we don't currently have a place to house our animals, so we're having to rely back on citations. That's gradually growing as time's coming along. We've had a lot of numerous animal attacks against other animals, dogs being nuisances, things like that. Code side, we had 14 cases, excessive debris, tall grass and weeds, and public nuisances. Kind of the year right now where everything's trying to die off, so the grass is just starting to pop weeds up. Even though it's weeds, it's still tacky and it needs to be maintained. So I have a lot of complaints coming in for high grass. Go over there, it's really just a weed sticking out. But there's a lot of them, so I have to notify the people who need to mow their yard. Completed projects last month. We worked the concession stand over at the football game on 9/27. We raised $545 in donations. That was 20% of what we raised the entire night. And then we also worked on Pioneer Days at the beginning of this month. We raised a little over $500. So just in the 2 events, we raised a little over $1,000. Pioneer Days was kind of thrown together right at the last minute. It wasn't really well planned out. We did a annual Pet of the Year, first annual. I think we'll have a really good turnout with that if we continue to do that. So that's something that we're looking forward to doing again this next coming up year. All the liens that were approved last month were placed. I have, I believe, 3 or 4 more that will be going on next month's agenda for you guys to be getting approved on. I have a lot of property that's starting to be sold over on the east side of town. Once those properties are going to start selling, then we'll start earning our money back on a lot of the properties that we've been placing our liens on.
Thank you. Now we go into our regular agenda, line item 10, deliberate on the interlocal agreement between the City of Whitney and Hill County relating to street repair and maintenance.
As of keeping that off and on, myself and Mr. Alton, I've been working on an interlocal agreement with.
Get closer to the microphone.
We've been working on an interlocal agreement with 1240 repair, which everybody knows is a high school road. So in front of you, we've got the interlocal agreement with 3 different options. First is just the chip seal, which I urge everybody to stay away from. That's kind of what has been going on and everybody has been doing in the past. This results in more patchwork. Chip seal just doesn't hold up in Texas weather. Option 2 is more of a temporary band-aid for this year, if we choose to spend the money, just to get us through until the hot asphalt plants start back up again, because they should be due to close in 3 weeks or so. About there. And our third option is we'll be looking at the beginning of 2025, probably as soon as school closes. We need to cover everything with hot asphalt, lay the shoulders.
So, council, look at the next agenda item and see if the options are there. This is a 2 agenda item thing. I'm sorry, I should have clarified that before. So 10 and 11 go together. So your options are probably in number 11.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Carry on.
And our interlocal agreements is basically an agreement that we need between us and.
Commissioner Holcomb, do you have anything to add to any of this, please?
Yes, so the original interlocal agreement was approved by the Commissioners Court 2 courts ago, before I got the city attorney's changes to it. And those were by and large grammatical, and we could go back and redo that. But the real meat of the agreement is the project approval. And as Chris was lining out, the chip seal would be depending on how you do that, if you do the base right, that'll last for a long time. And the last time that road was done, it was not done properly. As you can tell by the way the shoulders fell off, and it just narrows up the road, tire damage, the whole 9 yards. The second option, really, as he was saying, is a Band-Aid to get us through this school year. We'd come in and widen the shoulders, kind of shake that up, and get us a good footing to get us through the year, and then come back in the summer when school's out and we have less traffic, and go from 933 down to the end of the ISD property. And while we're out there, we're probably going to do the whole road, whatever way you guys decide to do this, all the way down to 1248. And we just leave that with you to make that decision on either of those options, or if collectively as a group, and with Chris's input, you guys come up with another option that you would like to do. we're sure all ears, and we'll do everything we can to help you with that. One of the things that has been discussed is widening the road and cutting the existing curbs back far enough to put in a turning lane. And, you know, long-term, permanent kind of fix, that seems to be, with the traffic flow on that road, that would seem to be the right thing to do, from our perspective. And that part of the road is yours, and we'll do whatever you would like us to do there. I will say that the estimates in here are current costs, bid material, you know, the asphalt, cold bits, all of those things are going up. And I'm sure next time we bid all those out, they'll go up again. Just keep that in mind when you're making your decision. Does the council have any questions for me?
Chris and Commissioner Holcomb have been working on this for several months to get this hashed out, because the high school, intermediate school, that road is so traveled that we catch a lot of grief on how that road is falling apart. So it is really getting to the point now, because some of it's on this side in the county, this is city, so we're trying to build partnerships with the county and our commissioners, that the city and the county can come together hand in hand and say, we're gonna go in this as partners and fix this problem. So Commissioner Holcomb has really done well. The city does not have the equipment for us to be able to do this. The county does. So they have worked tirelessly to come up with these options for us to look at and figure out how to do this. This is all the way from 933 all the way to County Road 1248.
From the culvert there at the end of the ISD property down is the county's. And when we do this work, whatever it is, we're gonna do the whole road.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I have a question. As far as the permanent, it's too late to do the permanent fix this time of year?
Yes, ma'am, because the temperatures are starting to change, and the asphalt plants stop making hot mix, and it stopped probably, I would say, in the next 3 weeks. We were fortunate enough to get under the wire today, and we hauled 4 loads of cold mix in, so we have some material on the heat. But you can't work that unless the temperature is above 80 degrees.
Are we able to make any comments at this point?
Yeah.
Well, my concern from having talked to so many people in different meetings that we've had is that we've been doing a Band-Aid approach time and time again on most of the streets around here. And they just last for a short while, and then we're back to the same problem. So, not saying that I'm trying to persuade anybody one direction or another, but I just hate to hear this come up again a year from now or whatever.
Exactly. Well, the Band-Aid approach is really kind of a two-pronged option. That would be a combination of option 2 and option 3. So you'd go in and shore it up to where we could get through the school year with option 2, and then come back in the summer and finish it out with option 3. So those costs would be additive. So you're looking at, you know, instead of $132,000 would be $170,000.
Well, I'm not clear on the wording, but I think I heard you say option 2 combined with option 3 would be the best.
Well, that would get us
For
toward
long-term.
Yes, ma'am.
Correction to the problem.
Yeah, option 3 should get us way down the road.
We have to approve the interlocal first.
Yeah, so we need to address the interlocal agreement with agenda item 10 first, and then if you want to decide an option, we can do that under 11.
Okay.
So, Mayor, would you
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead?
I kind of got ahead of us.
Yeah, they kind of go together, but we have to separate it out for formality.
Okay.
Yeah.
So line item 10 was deliberate and act on the interlocal agreement between the City of Whitney and Hill County relating to street repair and maintenance.
Motion to approve an interlocal agreement between the City of Whitney and Bill County.
A second.
Jason?
Yes.
Vicky? Cheryl?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
All yes, motion passes.
Line item 11. Deliberate and act on approval request from Hill County Precinct 1 for reconstruction of Hill County Road 140 from FM 933 and end of Whitney ISD property.
And let the record reflect that there's a scrivener's error in that agenda item, and it should be HCR 1240, not 140.
Now we're talking about the options, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And that part of it has not been approved by the Commissioners Court. We approved the form of the agreement, and then we're required by law to come behind it and put the project approval behind it. And we didn't want to get the cart before the horse till you guys had a chance to deliberate on that and decide which way you want to go.
I'd like to use something as an example. Before I even start talking, I'm not talking about the end of the road, Commissioner. I think you had a great idea and everything, and you did a great job. I think it's precinct 2. Guys, whenever he went in there, he was going to chip seal every single road over in precinct 2. Am I correct? Prairie Valley area?
That's his goal, yes.
Yes, okay. Anyhow, to get to the chip seal like what these two gentlemen are telling you, you need to go and drive some of the roads that they already did. It hadn't been 2 years, and some of them are, and like I said, I'm not talking about the commissioner, it's just the product that we put down, it's a Band-Aid. And it's not good anymore. The roads have fallen apart. So basically what I'm saying is if any of y'all go with chip seal in their defense, less than a year with that traffic up there, you're gonna be paying again.
Well, that's true, if you put down one course.
Yes.
And the way that we designed this was for 2 courses of chip seal with a prime coat and 2 tack coats with pea gravel. And we did over in precinct 1, we did the north part of 1414. And except for one part of it, which was completely blown out by water, we did that over a year ago and it's held up really well. And that's a pretty high traffic road up there north of 67. But, you know, it depends on how you prep the road, the time you take to prep it, and the courses that you put down.
Mayor, Council, if I could be completely candid with you, coming from Public Works, progressing in my career path with the city, I'm frankly tired of band-aiding things. I would highly encourage you to look at permit solutions going forward. We are wasting so much money of our citizens' taxpayers' dollars by continuing to band-aid something. Let's invest in our city, let's invest in our infrastructure, and let's move this city forward instead of just existing.
I agree. And certainly that's what we seem to have heard repeatedly in all of the past meetings that I've been on council is street issues.
We have to start somewhere. An agreement with our commissioners, this is a great start.
Do it right the first time, it's gonna cost you less.
Amen.
So, with that, I'm gonna make a motion, approval of number 2, and then a permanent fix in 2025.
I second.
Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl? Yes. Sam?
Yes.
All yeses, motion passes.
Item 12, deliberate and act on resolution.
Commissioner, thank you for coming. Thank you,
Absolutely.
appreciate
Thank you guys for your time and your patience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a blessed evening.
You too. On item 12, deliberate and act on resolution dedicating and naming the city's portion of Hill County 1240 and possibly 2540 feet Wildcat Drive.
Okay, so in 2008, the council passed a resolution to name 1,214 feet of Hill County Road Wildcat Drive. It's obviously never been done. We now have more of that since they built the other school behind it. One of our school board members approached me about doing this, and in my research, that's how I uncovered the 2008. I would like to just go ahead and extend that Wildcat Drive all the way to our city limits, and that we actually fulfill something that was already done 20 years ago, and renaming that road Wildcat Drive.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
All yeses, motion passes.
On item 13, receive information from Vive Business Services concerning the City of Whitney's internet and phone services.
Good evening, everyone. We've been working with Vive for probably close to a year now. Vive came in, redid a lot of the old infrastructure within the city, and has been providing services both to the residential and commercial environment within Whitney. Unfortunately, we went with another provider prior to Vive coming in, and honestly, we've had difficulties with them. We've seen deficiencies in services. We've had multiple outages. One of them, I think, lasted 3 days, where we had no internet from a break over 2 hours away from Whitney. That's unacceptable. We're looking to make things better. Vi came in, had a conversation with us, and I believe they've come up with a great plan. You have a proposal in your packets. You also have a small presentation. I'm sorry, everybody, I know we've got it up on the TV. It's too small, you can't see it. We'll get it out on the website so everybody can take a look at it. Our goal is to stabilize the environment. Our goal is to increase the services to include Public Works and EMS, which right now they are using residential DSL circuits that do not meet the needs of the current IT environment. They don't. We want to extend those services. We want to get to an enterprise class solution. We need to be 5 nines. In the IT world, 5 nines mean you're up 7/24. We support emergency services operations. We support our administration services through City Hall. None of those can go down. Every time it goes down, it hurts. It hurts us big. I believe that the solution that Vi has come up with provides everything that we have asked for, and they've actually gone even further. They're providing us redundancies so right now, if we take a hit, just like we did this last time, like I say, it was hours away, there was no way to reroute our traffic. With Vi's solution, we'll have multiple paths that they can reroute us if one path goes down. Those are the types of redundancies we've got to have to move forward. So you have the proposal. We'd like for you to take a look at it, think about it, and think about where we are with the city. Unfortunately, this is not a cost savings initiative. It's not. It's not a big uptick, especially when you take into consideration the additional services that we're going to be getting. Moving fiber into EMS, moving fiber into public works areas. They will be taking over our firewall, which is our perimeter services, instead of us having to do that. I'm an IT department of 1. Anytime we can take services off of me, they will do the 7/24 proactive monitoring. We'll be working with them very close, but they become the spear. And that's where we need to get. I do have Shamika Palmer and Bobby Jones from Vi here tonight. If there are any questions, I would love it if y'all would ask. They're here to help us push this through.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shamika Palmer. I'm the account executive for Vi Broadband. Everything that being said to you guys, that's what we're bringing into Whitney. We're going to also, we actually have back-end story on with Vi. 3 companies actually came in together and merged together. That's how we became Vi. With coming over to Vi, you're gonna have a local rep, which will be myself. And I'm sure a lot of you may have seen my face a lot. Janice, we're gonna get the chamber sooner or later. And I'm extremely excited to move our company to serve the Whitney community. Bobby Jones is our regional sales director. He handles all of Mid-South. Bobby, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, we appreciate the opportunity here, and we'll do it right.
Is
Does anyone else have any questions?
May I say, give one quick comment? Cheaper is not always better. And I work at a local community college, I won't name them, but their entire internet system, y'all probably remember, some of y'all heard me complaining for a whole weekend. I teach online, students could not get to their course. The whole district crashed for about 48 hours. And I know all the IT emergency personnel were up there 24/7 trying to restore. We couldn't get the grades or attendance or anything that we needed. And when that's all you do is online, I mean, you're helpless. You're helpless.
We've had several meetings. This has gone for 3 months probably that we've been trying to figure out the best solution for Whitney. When we looked at the numbers, they were initially came in very over what, I won't say very, they came in over what we're currently paying, but they have done an excellent job of coming very close to what we pay our current provider. And one of the biggest points of contention that I had when we had our discussion was our billing is not transparent with our current company. They will not give us a good definition of what we're actually paying for. We have been insured. What we get is what you will pay for. And they've shown me an example of it, and it'll be on one bill. And we won't get 5 different bills from 5 different locations. However many. So, the point of the matter is, this is an excellent solution for the city. I have been thoroughly impressed. I personally have Vive in my home, and it works constantly. Again, this isn't really, we do not have the contract because we haven't had the opportunity to get to our legal department yet, so we can't act on it right now. We wanted this to be a briefing while they were here for you to be able to ask any questions. We will be bringing this to you for approval if you want us to proceed in November.
Madam Mayor, do we have opportunities that it's only the board discusses? So if we have something, we just contact.
If you have something to say, you do the agenda and you're
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, you can call,
Yeah.
So, in talking with Shamika and Bobby tonight, so just understand that there is about a 120-day delivery. So we are looking into 2025, even if we started tomorrow. Not pushing you, not that kind of guy. But, and actually I'd like to get beyond the holidays. I won't enjoy my holidays. But I do believe it's the right solution at the right time.
And Ben, we know you have done your research. I'm always comfortable with your recommendations.
Any additional questions?
You need to make a motion to go ahead and look at this. No, we just need.
if we could get some type of formal, just to say that you would like us to proceed, or, that we're not deliberate, we're not acting on the contract or anything, just that you would like to proceed with, review of the contract with legal.
You're not gonna make a motion, just provide your.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that way we proceed this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In other words, proceed.
Proceed,
so. We'll move that.
Line item 14, deliberate and act on annual rate increase from Republic Services of 5%.
This is the annual CPI increase. Robin, I believe, here, if you have any questions from the public, in the contract that we've had, this is an annual thing, if I remember correctly. We do this time every year. Based off the consumer price index. Rob, do you have any comments, or would you like to say?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff. I don't really have any comments. It's just your typical annual increase that comes every year at this time. Just your CPI, your Consumer Price Index, that's published by the .gov that we pull. So if you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer.
Do you know where we're at right now as far as
give you pricing that I provide to the city, that is not necessarily what their citizens may see on their bill. So I can give it to you if you like. So the rate for residential one cart, which is what everyone has right now, is $13.30 per month from Republic. I know on the city side, the city handles many calls sometimes because it's billed through the water department. Along with that, they do the billing. And so we work very closely with Chrissy and her team on concerns, questions, adding a cart, taking away a cart, that type of thing. So there is an admin fee, franchise fee on that as well. Absolutely.
Anything else? Motion?
I make a motion that we, run on this 5% increase.
And I'll second.
Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl? Sam?
No.
Okay, we got 3 yeses, 1 no, motion passes.
Deliberate and act on sealed bids for the sale of City of Whitney owned properties. Property ID numbers is 107-700, 107-699, 395-626. More legally described as Whitney, OT Block 15, LT3, Whitney, OT Block 15, LT2, generally located at 111 North San Jacinto Street, and J. Burgess, A2 Track 26, 0.87 acres, generally located at 501 East Polk Avenue. And I believe that is the sealed bid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we only received 1 sealed bid.
Yeah, we only received 1 sealed bids. We had, Sarah and Associates, that did our assessment on it. And, we open them now? It scares me, like Christmas, I don't know what I'm getting, you know, it doesn't have any. I don't know what I'm getting. It looks official. This bid was from Pink Elephant LLC, Series Whitney, 894 North Blue Cut Road in McGregor, Texas. Barry T. Cox, City of Whitney, please accept this letter as written and request to bid on below properties. Property A, Whitney OT Block 15 LTID 107-699, $5,500. Property B, Whitney OT Block 15 LTS ID number 107-700, $5,500. Thank you for your consideration, Barry T. Cox. Dated 9/2024.
Will you look in the manila folder and see what the appraised value, or not appraised value, but the assessed value of those properties working, right?
So they just want 2 of the 3 lots.
Yeah, we didn't receive any bids for the Polk address, just the 2 on San Jacinto.
Okay. From Paul Sauer, it says, if you were to put on the market, I would start at 10,000 per lot.
Per lot.
Grand, does it say 2 contingents? Lots of
That's
different-
the lot downtown, is that correct?
It is.
Behind, across through from
It
the
is.
hospital behind Keys.
And we have for one lot, they bid 5,900 and the other 5,500.
We don't have to accept that, correct?
That is correct.
I think it is too.
Pink LLC, you have to do with the hardware store or not?
They don't, the property.
Do we make a decision today?
We could bring it back up, it could be tabled if you'd like to, and brought up at the next council meeting or whenever, you'd like to, if you don't want to make a decision on it right now. I will tell you that if we decide to go ahead and do this again, there is a process with advertising in the paper that will prolong this, so it's up to you.
So we can't do the sale once passed.
No, it has to be by,
Still bid.
Not still do it.
sealed bid or, at auction.
All I can do is go ahead, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the seal bid.
We have a motion to accept the seal bid.
Wow.
Second?
I'll say.
Jason?
Yes.
Vicky? No. Cheryl? No. Sam?
Yes. So
We
we have
have
a
a
tie
tie.
here, we'll break, so.
The mayor,
Tie vote is up to the mayor to decide.
or you can choose not to decide.
Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Okay, well, I guess we sell them.
Wow.
Mayor Sanders has voted yes, 3-2 on the vote, motion passes.
Well, you only have for the two, right? Two of the three?
Yes.
Yes.
The other one was the flood line, is that correct?
Portion of it.
Is that on the?
No more
agenda
discussion,
item?
it's been done.
No, I'm just asking that one. Is that on the agenda later? Okay.
Line item 16, deliberate and act on a resolution authorizing the submission of a Texas Community Development Block Grant Program application to the Texas Department of Agriculture for the Community Development Fund. And that is, last month we did the resolution authorizing, GrantWorks to be our grant administrator, and now we're asking that, we authorize them to be for the grant at the to the Texas Department of Agriculture for the Community of Development.
This is the actual resolution for
Yes.
application for the.
So is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
No. Okay. Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl? Yes. Sam?
Yes.
All yeses, motion passes.
Line item 17. Deliberate, act, or give direction to staff regarding the City of Whitney Animal Control Shelter. So this is, this discussion is only about the shelter and it's not about the animal control. The options that we create a facility and run the facility as the city, completely funded by the city, or the city can create a facility and a nonprofit organization can run that facility under an agreement with the city to be responsible for the shelter. An organization like 501c3 is eligible for more funding options than any municipality. And, it keeps accepting donations easier as a 501c3. The city would have to vote to accept the money and designate the use of the funds. A nonprofit cannot accept that. No, cannot accept funds. Oh, they can just accept funds. Y'all made me. So, any questions?
So what we're looking at is, as we progress and we build a facility, the city will either build a facility in kind and somebody run it as a 501c3, or we do it totally with the city funds, all of it, build it, operate it, everything. So what we're doing with the fire department is making the Whitney Volunteer Fire Department, they are their own 501c3. We are making an agreement between the city that we will house them, but they will operate. This is kind of what we're looking at probably trying to do here with our animal shelter. Again, this has nothing to do with actually the control process. This is the shelter. Until we make this decision, we don't know what the next step is. So if we want to do this, I'll tell you, if we do this completely as a city, that budget's gonna have to grow exponentially. If we can come up with a facility that they can use and a 501c3 organization operate that under an agreement with the city, that is, everybody I've talked to said that's the best way for a municipality to go.
That is the best way.
I've done a little research looking at that, and I think that's the best way for us to go.
Got a lot more doors open up for them too.
Again, this isn't something that we're gonna formally act on, this is give direction to, because we just need to know where to go.
Right.
The 501c3 will actually have a whole lot better opportunity to get things that we wouldn't be able to, like for one of them. As far as grants. They would be
Grants.
It opens up a lot different.
It'll open the doors
That's
more
what-
for grants and stuff.
That's what my question
Yes.
is. Thank you.
So what is y'all's recommendation?
I would go that way. We didn't make a motion.
No, we just need to know.
Okay, yeah, I would go that way with 501c3.
Okay.
Yeah, we house it, but they run it.
Okay. Thank you.
So we can move on.
Y'all should never let me take the class on this stuff. Deliberate and act on an updated failure to appear FTA interlocal corporation contract with the Department of Public Safety due to changes occurring in the 18th legislative session.
So this is something that's done annually with FTA. This allows us to be able to put holds on violator driver's license when they do not come in to pay for their citations, which is the only thing that we have at this point, since we don't serve warrants. So my suggestion is for us to go ahead and do the FTA program and upgrade the interlocal agreement with them so that we can continue.
If it doesn't have any teeth in it, it's not really effective, so.
And to be clear, we did pass this up to Judge Jaton to review. He had no legal comments or no comments and suggested that we continue our partnership with DPS.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion to update FTA.
Second.
Got a motion from Sam Pierce, a second from Vicki Wilson. Jason?
Yes.
Vicki?
Yes.
Cheryl? Yes. Sam?
Yes.
All yes, motion passes.
19, deliberate and act on approval of interlocal agreement between the City of Whitney and Whitney ISD. I believe, Chief Neville?
Hello, this is an agreement we've had in the past, we're just updating the agreement, and in doing so, we have sent it to our attorneys just to see if we needed to make any changes to it. We've made some changes, just a few changes I've got with Terry Ward at the ISD, and they've agreed with all the changes we've made. Just to keep us from having a formal request for us to respond to an emergency or a disaster at school, and which we're gonna do, so. I think it's a good thing. We've got a good working relationship with the school, and I don't see anything wrong with having this agreement.
We had a horrible incident, I'm sure you remember, a few years ago involving our ISD and a police training exercise on an ISD campus during the summer months where an officer was shot and killed.
In Whitney?
Not in Whitney, right?
And I want all of the best quality training for both the ISD and the city that's possible.
Yeah, and that's what we're working toward. Like I told you at the last meeting, we've got alert certified instructors now that can help us do the alert training, the 16 hours of training for shooting situations in the school, and we're continuing to build off that. So we're taking all the steps we can to and having safety meetings at the school to get that accomplished.
Okay, thank you. So, do we have a motion on that agreement?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the interlocal agreement.
Is there a second?
Second.
Jason? Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl? Yes. Sam?
Yes.
All yes, motion passes.
Line item 20, deliberate and act on ordinance amending section 101004 of the City of Whitney Code of Ordinance to redefine city manager and city administrator as operations director as outlined in chapter 9, article 9.06. And this is just, in our ordinance, it says, in some places city manager, in some places it says city manager, and since Billy is the operation, director now, this will just outline the title instead of the other two.
Cleans up our ordinance.
Cleans up the ordinances. See, that's why you do that.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve amending section.
Second. Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl? Sam?
Yes.
All yes, motion passes.
Line item 21, deliberate and act on authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract agreement with Government Capital Securities to purchase 2 police vehicles for $55,000. Chief Neville?
$56,000.
$56,000.
What we're looking to do, we've got two cars with high mileage on them, and one of them is a 2016 Ford Explorer. It's got 112,000 miles on it. We bought it used, and it wasn't, I say we, it was before me, but it was bought and it wasn't in that great a condition. It's not in good condition now. My white Ford Explorer has 122,000 miles on it. My vehicle, we've replaced the water pump, and in those Explorers, that's a pretty expensive job. We got a good price to get it done. It's in fairly good operation now. That car, we think we've got Drew under the police department now. He's gonna have to have a vehicle. Right now, the vehicle he's using is the fire department vehicle. I'd like to get that back to them and possibly give this 2017 Explorer to Drew for the code enforcement and animal control vehicle. We can sell the other Explorer and try to recoup some of the money that we spend on this, as well as getting that car and not having to buy a car for Drew. Josh has worked hard to get us these prices on these cars, and they're really a good price for the two Malibus. We can't buy a Durango for the price of both of these cars, and that $56,000 is with upfitting. We don't have to upfit the cars, pay for any equipment. That is the complete price to get it all done. Buying the vehicles, having delivered to us at no charge, and upfitting the vehicles. We're trying to get to a 5-year rotation on our cars. Right now, we're taking better care of our cars. We have our Explorers assigned to patrol officer. Our Tahoes assigned to a specific patrol officer. Our Durango is assigned to a specific patrol officer. Our other good Explorers assigned to a patrol officer. Where we're not running these cars continually, we're not running up and racking up the miles on them. We're getting them maintenance like they're supposed to be, less mileage, less wear and tear, and trying to have a little better resale value on our cars, and hopefully start replacing our older, more higher mileage cars within a 5-year period. And help us with the resale and keeping a good fleet.
These are brand new vehicles?
Yes.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
These are brand new. They're So the Explorer that was purchased by the council in 2020 will pay off next year, and this will essentially pick up where that, we'll pay both in 1 year, and then it'll essentially pick up where the Explorer ends.
They are 2024 Malibus. They are new.
And Chief?
Yes.
I was gonna ask, I know you have, how you have the officers assigned to a certain vehicle, and do you have like an accountability time? Them taking care of?
Oh, yes, we keep track of the cars, and everybody takes pride in their car. I mean, we look for any damage, any issues that we might have or need to take care of. We address that, especially if it's not being taken care of. We will address that, and do address that.
So they take this home with
No,
them?
ma'am, I want to make that clear.
Okay.
They do not take the patrol vehicles home with them.
You're the only one, right?
I am, and my investigator takes a part on it. I mean, if we have to respond to the hospital in Fort Worth, anywhere I've ever worked, the investigators had a car to take home. So it's a lot easier to respond to a situation, or to a hospital or wherever we need to if we have that vehicle and our investigator has it. The other thing, we're a one-man show out here at nighttime, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And me or Josh, either one, may have to respond out here as fast as we can to help our guy. We rely and work with the sheriff's office a lot. We help them, in turn they help us, but they're shorthanded too, so, I mean, it's not always available and something we can depend on, so I think it makes sense for us to have those cars available to respond to calls and situations.
So when we were looking at options, we've been working on this for a while, trying to find the best option. We've looked at several different things. We looked at Tahoes, we looked at Explorers, we looked at the Ford Mavericks, which are, something, the Malibu is something that Sergeant Scholes came up with as an option here. You can't buy one Explorer for what you're getting two cars for. Just to be clear.
I'd like to make a motion to approve those.
And I'll second that.
Jason?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Cheryl? Sam?
Yes.
All yeses, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
On item 22, deliberate and act on an ordinance number 2024-86, repealing the 02-020.
We have a public hearing. Supplemental.
Public hearing on the proposed 2024-2025 City of Whitney fee schedule. We're going into the hearing at 7:10. Is there anybody here that would like to speak on the 2024-2025 fee schedule? If so, please step up to the microphone.
So we're doing a fee schedule, or a public hearing, it was recommended by our attorney to do a public hearing to amend our fee schedule that we adopt annually. That way, if the public has any comment, if they have a comment on the fee schedule, there's copies of the fee schedule in the back of the room. If anybody wanted to grab them, that's what it is. Then the next, we'll go into what the actual process is of that.
Second call, would anybody like to speak? Close the hearing at 7:11. Now what? Just so you know, these people. 23, deliberate. Line item 23, deliberate and act ordinance 2024-1001, naming the chapter 13 utilities of the Whitney Code of Ordinance to relocate the rates, fees, and charges to the comprehensive fee schedule. What is going on there? Mayor, you have to approve that ordinance.
Number 22? Yes. Which is actually 23 now.
Who's on first? Okay, deliberate and act on ordinance number 2024 for XX, repealing 02-023-1110 and adopting an updated fee schedule for the city of Whitney, Texas to amend and establish fees as adopted by the city council on November 2016.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl? Yes. Sam?
Yes.
All yeses, motion passes.
Now, if you're going by your binder, it's now number 23. It's actually number 24. Yeah.
Okay, it's for deliberate, line 24, deliberate and act ordinance 2024-1001, amending chapter 13 utilities of the city of Whitney, of the Whitney Code ordinance to relocate the rates, fees, and charges for the comprehensive fee schedule and make provisions relating to redefining rates, deposits, and account holders.
So, this is what we're doing here, to be clear. We're taking the utility rates out of the ordinance and we're putting it on the fee schedule. Because every year we're reevaluating the fee schedule, and as opposed to having to amend the utility code every time, we are now putting it in the fee schedule. There is also the increase that we talked about in both of our budget workshops about increasing the water rates and increasing the sewer rates to an ascending scale. We did not base our percentages on the CPI as most places do. What this is based off of is the increase that our Social Security folks will see on an annual basis. So we based it on the Social Security COLA increases. So if they get 2.5%, that's what we figured into this, the 2.5%. It's not out there based on the CPI. So we tried to not raise it above what the increases they're getting in their cost of living. And again, this is exactly what was presented at both the budget workshops when Ben did his presentation on utility rates.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-10-01, amending chapter 13.
No, second. Jason? Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl? Yes. Sam?
Yes.
All yes, motion passes.
Line 25, deliberate and act on a resolution designating the Lakelander as the official newspaper of the city of Whitney.
Motion to approve.
Second. Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl? Yes. Sam?
Yes.
All yes, motion passes.
Line 26, deliberate and act on library director job description.
It should be in your packet. We ran this through our legal department and we tried to update it and get as best we could. This is, we never really had a formal job description for this position going forward. And as we have done in the past, anytime we're opening a new position up, we're making sure we have a job description for it.
Very important. And being a librarian is actually a science, you know, it's a major. It's just very small.
Yep, it went through and it was all the recommendations we accepted from legal.
I'll make it a motion to accept the legal description.
I'll second.
Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
All yes, motion passes.
Executive session. If during the course of the meeting covered by this notice, the city council should determine that a closed or executive meeting or session of the city council or consultation with the attorney for the city should be held or is required, then such closed or executive meeting or session in consultation with the attorney is authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551001, accepted and withheld by the city council at the date, hour, and place given on this notice, as the city council may conveniently meet in such closed or executive meeting or session, or consult with the attorney for the city concerning any and all subject, and for any and all purpose permitted by the act, including but not limited to the following sections. Code 551072, discussing purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property, and 551072, discuss personnel matters or to explain complaints against personnel. We will go into executive session at 7:18.
We'll go back there, y'all.
Oh, really? Okay, so I don't have to move.
Well, so if you want to do sign up on which one do you have? Oh, yeah, okay, just give us a call there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this is City of Whitney. This is the Whitney City Council meeting. They had a fairly long agenda tonight. They are currently in executive session, and my MO is to continue streaming until they get out of executive session, because then they have to deliberate and act on any executive session item. And it's just easier to keep it all in one video than try to cut it up into two. So as often as possible, I'm just going to wait until they get back. And we'll hope that it doesn't take too long. If anybody has the Jeopardy theme, feel free to share that.
I'm good. I'll be meeting with the mayor in the morning, and we'll do a wrap-up thing. My brain's fried right now, but I'll try to have that to you tomorrow before 3 o'clock. I know, I like to, but yeah, I've been trying to follow more what you have posted for everybody.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes the ads, I come in on the weekends, and I clear out the ads up on Fridays, so
Yeah.
for news stuff, it usually doesn't matter, but you get with Billy there, it may be in the packet, but I was wondering how much the water rate increase is.
I can't tell
Probably
you.
in the packet. Oh.
So one of the things that we did do, he was saying that we increased it by COLA.
Yeah, yeah.
Not cost of living. I mean, not. No, yeah, because we don't want to exceed what people are able to pay for. And I can tell you, it has only raised in 20 years. So we had a meeting with some city managers. Everybody's suddenly realizing, this has been nestled in our ordinances, and we haven't changed it in a long time. We can't pay for infrastructure, we can't pay for this. That's what we're facing too. And unfortunately, it hasn't been raised in so long. It is a big issue. It's either that or have no water. Oh, that is a shit show. Yes. I know. Your infrastructure's falling to pieces.
But at the same time, and she's trying to say, I know, but the only way to make sure you get water is to take water.
This administration has been trying really, really hard to get grants. We haven't been here for years because we didn't qualify. Yeah. Now we can, because we got our homework covered. And so that was thing number one with Jackson Billy Kingdom, to get those audits. 3 years behind.
There's a big place right there.
Well, it's easy to do, but it's not a priority. Now, it's top priority. In fact, she's almost done with 2023, which that's the goal now. You're done with the year before the year ends. You need to do it when it's more fresh. It takes longer when it's not. But also, we're going for this one grant for the roads. We found out that there's another grant that we qualify for, which I haven't heard about yet, but the grant works is bringing it to us, and we're really excited. But we've got to say that again, and we've got a whole new sewer plant we're putting in. Like, what, $6 million? We don't. We don't have sewer. So, get administrations in there that are afraid of making the people mad. That's good. We've got people down at City of Whitney. This little guy, I feel terrible. But the thing is there was a time when he couldn't come and spoke and maybe had some effect. And we can't change it. It's done.
I don't really care. But, I mean, I think, again, the biggest thing is negative.
That's our goal. This is the mess we have. We've got to fix it.
So, and I think people are starting to appreciate that, you know, but it's not like it's all so bad.
That's
Yeah, just to get time, we gotta bid for the concrete.
You know, I was talking to a city manager, and they're fixing to hit the limit that they're able to buy from a certain amount that they're buying from. Now they're looking for someone else to buy more from because they're growing, and they can't find it. And they're saying all the municipality meetings and conferences, they're saying water is not the water is the deal.
Hillsborough is trying to, there's power to that. Megan says she thinks it's good for 10 to 20 years. So they're, first thing they're trying to do is raise the level of water. But they're starting now because it might take a decade to get this. Literally, it's an act of Congress.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
And then, beyond that, there's still going to be water. So they're trying to make it water. The problem with the water is it's too salty. So that's going to
It's allocation.
So I mean, either way you look at it, it's gonna just be nothing but money.
Here's the thing,
From
is
where-
that Texas is a dry state, and it's growing. And we don't have enough water for
Yeah, I
that.
asked Billy, and I think I'm there with the golden child. That's what all that is.
Yeah, no, we're gonna watch
Yeah, we're actually pretty golden on that, on our source, but we have to make sure that we don't let our pipes leak. You know, we're constantly working on that. And you've got our city manager, who's director of operations, is very infrastructure focused, because that's where he came from. And it's not just public work, it's all the infrastructure. And the buildings, we're working on getting to where we're trying to get all of us in one building, you know, and get us central location here, because it saves money. And the one thing this city doesn't have is money. We got water, we need money. But we've been really working the angle on the grants, researching hard, applying for everything. I applied for a $50,000 research loan, I haven't heard yet. But I get to apply every quarter, so I'm just going to keep applying until I figure what makes you guys say yes. Yeah, I mean, I applied for $25. All right.
You ready?
In my car, how we help county out on the disturbance, and we got a call and it's got, from the attorney general's office in Oklahoma. And they wanted us to try to find it, and let everybody know about it.
You're not planning on doing that?
So they were all tied up. Saw we got to take pulled in front of him, Josh, and Brown pulled behind me. And I was walking up to his car, and I said, get out. Man, and Brown moved the car. How about that?
Are we there yet?
It's easy to do.
Night.
Y'all have a good night.
Hit a dead end road in a little bit. He was a good one to get out of here.
Yeah, sounds like it.
You get the door?
I've only had that happen once, and it was when I had to back up in my line, right behind the toilet. Yeah. See, my master bathroom gurgled, and 2 days after it gurgled, it backed up every day. I was like, I knew it was going to happen, because I could hear it when it's before she pulled it.
So you can try it wherever you want, just make sure you're not.
Yeah, well, I won't even touch your building. Sit back and wait. But I did raise the fees, if you didn't know that, on the entire animal plan. Entire animal side, all the things that were raised. So impound, adoption, boarding fees from $6 to $12. Stuff like that. And then live trap rentals. $40. So it's we have a wild animal in our house. What kids? Eaters? Dog won't touch an eater, that is a weird hunter.
That should be made up.
Yeah, hanging right above him like you.
Or you do these plans, they work great. Just make sure. Put it on a section, you know, you
I think
call
it's
me in the
more-
middle of the night being like, room.
Right now, it's the best time to do it because it's getting cooler versus it getting hot when you have them underneath that tent. It's harder to keep them cool than it is warm. Well, I do eight kennels and then put an area for the cats. I should have enough room on that one little slab. For cats. I already had one for the horse.
You're lucky I'm meeting for me.
That was just for you.
So back in the day, they used to do that.
Did they? I asked you what you were gonna do, you said you were gonna stay, so that's what I'm saying. 7:33. We're going to shift change, correct?
You going home tonight? You're on tonight? Well, hopefully the vehicles don't take very long, so you can get your father back. It didn't take them very long to get the Durango's. Sure would be nice, it would be funny to see him out as a police car, but.
I'm trying to picture that.
Used to run out of Howard, there's some places.
Crown Vics.
Oh, no, there was a little sporty car there for a while before running out of. Oh, yeah, those are like tiny little cars. How are you gonna fit a person in the backseat for the rest of them?
Once you get a cage in there, they probably will take out the back seats and put in bucket seats. Those hard plastic bucket seats. How'd they get them to go though?
Yeah, I mean, there's 40. No, there's not the creases, not the top, no big. There was another. Taurus? There was another small car. Some people use.
The only ones I've known are Crown Vics. There's an old Ford, like way back in the day, and then they went to Chargers and Challengers.
Okay, here's a police Malibu.
That's not that bad. It's not that bad. Depends on the color they get.
Okay, it was the Malibu back in the day. Oh, no, it was Caprice, but the updated Caprices. See, it was kind of the Malibu. Remember these? Ryan, remember these?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the same thing. They don't make Caprice anymore, that's not the excessive Malibu. How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Update on their donations, for the donations. We got the bid for the concrete, we'll start that.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully.
So are y'all doing, so is the first step just a holding facility for the city? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
Then it's gonna be the other things.
Yeah, so that's what we were talking about
Yeah.
tonight, was the 501c3. That'll be the next one. And then, right now, we're just building a slab, trying to get some kennels in. so-
Ready? And that's gonna be a couple of bucks.
Yeah, okay. This is gonna be, hey, I got a stray dog.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gotta start somewhere.
Sorry, I'm at capacity
Yeah,
right now, it's
cheers.
really hard.
Yeah.
That's what I'm having to tell people, because I don't have a
Got a good start.
Yeah.
We got your
So,
showcase.
it'll be 11 by 44 slab. We found a contractor that did a really good bid on us. They were over 5, we're working down to 48, 48.50, so it gives us about $100, $200, so hopefully we get 8 kennels started. So, right.
I know it's slow going.
Very.
I was talking to somebody and they said, 48.
Janice? Amy. Amy? Nice to meet you.
Thank you for waiting. The last time you saw me, I had on knee socks and high tops. Two different.
I'm in love with this whole thing. Yes, that certified penalty. Yes. I quit.
You can't quit.
Are we done?
Well, we need to reconvene.
Yeah. You want me to announce it? 7:45, we're coming out of executive session.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Christy Rogers as the interim library director while we're taking applications.
Second.
Hang on, I'm running behind here. Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
We've got, 4 yeses, motion passes to appoint Christy Rogers as the interim library director.
I'll also make a motion that we accept the application of Robert Matthews as Director of Emergency Services effective November 12th.
I'll second that.
Hang on, let me get this in. Okay, Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
We have 4 yeses, motion passes to make Robert Matthews the Director of Emergency Services with an effective date of November the 12th, 2024.
Line item 27, adjourn at 7:47 p.m. We don't do that.
We don't?
I learned that in class.
I don't have a.
So we learned at TML
We
that you
did.
just adjourned.
If you're done with everything on the agenda.
Yep, just adjourn.
I got away from.
Well, then I'll just adjourn from that.
Bill.
Matter of fact, I'll just walk out.
Taking my choice.
Mayor, here's your extra
Oh, thank you. Oh, wait a minute.